Hey guys, it's Glenn from Glenn'sCarCollection.com, and in this video we're going to talk about why I chose the Mclaren 570S over the GT. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. So, one of the biggest differences with the 570S is it doesn't have the sound deadening of the GT, so it is loud. So I went back and forth between the 570S and the 570 GT. Now it's like splitting hairs. If you watch a YouTube video, they make it seem like it's two different cars, and that's not true. It's about a 10% difference. But the way I would describe it, if you just want to know, watch this whole video and give you the reasons. But the short answer is, this car is hopped up on caffeine and sugar, and the 570S is coming on a sugar low. So this car is like, where's the racetrack? Where's the racetrack? Rev me up to 8,000 RPM. Let's find a tunnel so you can hear my sport exhaust. Where the 570 GT is like, hey, what are we doing today? Let's go for work. Let's go for a stroll on a scenic drive. Let's commute to traffic. We can sit in traffic, no problem. Let's take your significant other out on a date night. It's a beautiful day. We have this really nice sunroof for you. So that's kind of what the 570 GT is. Now, looks are subjective. I know. If you watch a lot of videos, and I went back and forth with this myself, a lot of people like the GT better because you got the fastback look. So think of the 68 Mustang Bullitt Steve McQueen drove that fastback, and that's the shape you get. Now, a lot of people on the McLaren forums, McLaren Life is one of the forums you should go on if you're considering a McLaren, love the extra luggage space. So this trunk is really deep. I can fit my hockey bag in the front trunk, or the frunk, if you will. And you do have extra storage here with the GT, and some people said that was the difference for them. They want to take their girlfriend or wife or husband, whatever, on a weekend away, and they can fit much more suitcases there, so it is practical. The downside of that is in the rearview mirror here, I have great visibility. Because of the fastback shape on the GT, the window is so much further from you, and at an angle, it really looks like you're looking through one of those prisms. You ever look through one of those prisms and it distorts the light of your vision? That's what it looks like. So it's almost unusable backing up. Now, of course, you have the backup camera here, which is garbage, but you do have a backup camera. So some people swear by the, when people stare at the McLaren, I just wave. This is all the houses here are like $5 million, so everybody has probably 10 488s or Aventadors, so this doesn't even attract too much attention on this street. But, so that is something to consider if you need more luggage space. The GT will also give you the biggest difference I noticed, and I drove it, the McLaren dealer I went to that I bought this car from, which was McLaren Philadelphia, so shout out to Adam Mateo for giving me a smoking deal on this car. Adam was nice enough to let me drive the GT and the S back-to-back on the same roads, and they were great back roads they have there. They're outside Philadelphia. They're actually in the Westchester area, but it's about 2.5 hours from where I live in northern New Jersey, because I live right on the New York State border. And the biggest difference that I noticed is the ride. So for YouTube, it might be better because we'll have a glass roof here. We have another angle for the camera, and the ride is a lot smoother, so you don't get this constant shaking you're getting right here. But that was the biggest difference to me. So for me, the choice was, it comes down to how often you're going to drive the car. And if the roads are really terrible by you, which they're terrible by me, you may want a smoother ride. Now, the downsides to the GT, it's 120 pounds more. Upsides or downsides, you get the glass roof, you get the more sound deadening, you get the luxury pack standard, which is a $6,600 option, and gives you this amazing Bowers & Wilkins stereo, which is a a little over 2,000 standalone option on the S. Here it's standard, so you get the 12 speakers and the 1,200 watts. A softer suspension, 10% and 50% softer front and rear. I might have those two mixed up, which is front, which is rear, but it is a noticeable difference. But it's quieter. You definitely need a sport exhaust on the GT. Most of them don't have the sport exhaust as an option. To me, the car was too quiet. Another big difference between the 570S and the GT are the brakes. So the S comes standard with ceramic brakes. With the GT, they're an option. So again, if you want to daily drive the car, it might be better to have steel brakes, especially here in New Jersey, where we have winter 4 months a year. You don't necessarily need ceramic brakes. You're going to work and you're stuck in traffic and it's cold out, 20 degrees out. You're going to have trouble building heat in them. So if you're going to drive the car a lot, the GT could be better for you. The biggest difference for me and why I chose the S was I want the lightest, rawest version of that car. So why would I, like the 964 Porsche, the RS America weighs slightly less, was actually $10,000 cheaper, and it's worth double the money now. Why? Because it's the lightest, most visible version of that car. So even though there's probably going to be more S's than GTs produced, because they didn't have a GT until 2017, the S came in 2016, model years in the United States, I want the lightest, best performing version of that car. So the downsides to the GT is at least 120 pounds heavier. It's 2.2 seconds slower to 0 to 60. So as far as resale value goes, a slower, heavier car is never, in my opinion, going to be worth more than the faster, lighter car. And I hate sunroofs, so I actually hated having the sunroof here. And from what I hear from people living in hot weather climates, it really heats up the cabin. So the last thing I want to do is have to blast the air conditioning every time I drive the car, because there's no way to cover up that glass sunroof. Now, if I did get that, I would tint the windows. GTs are more expensive in the first place, so they come with more standard equipment but have a higher base price. For example, they had a GT there that was the exact same price as this car after negotiation, $165. This car had almost every option. This car had, let's see, $25, $15, $60,000 worth of options, where a GT essentially with $10,000 worth of options, they were both worth the same price. This was just a much sharper car to me. To use that same analogy, it was a car that's always hopped up on caffeine and coffee, sugar, and the other one is already coming off the sugar high. It's more like relaxed, hey, let's just cruise and enjoy the moment, let's find some good scenery, where this is like, let's go, let's be the fastest car, let's do this, let's do that, let me put it back in manual mode. So that's why the S was really no-brainer for me. But, I have two friends that bought GTs this year, and they love them. And one of them drives his every day to work. And if you're going to drive your car every day, sorry for the acceleration there, it's addicting. If you're going to drive your car every day to work, you're probably better off with the GT. You're going to have less sound insulation here. It's going to be smoother, won't beat you up as much. If you're going to rack up 10, 20,000 miles a year, I'm sure the GT is the better choice. But for me, and I think for the car enthusiasts, it's the S all the way. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time on Glenn's Car Collection.